From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Evening Edition.
Now at 6, public schools in San Francisco will be closed tomorrow as the standoff between the SFUSD and the teachers union continues.
We need to see their serious movement. We'll be on strike on Monday without an agreement.
The latest on the negotiations and how parents are preparing.
And why boats are finally coming back to San Pablo Reservoir after going to battle against an exotic invader.
We're being very cautious as to what vessels we're allowing in here, and we don't want to allow golden mussels into our reservoir.
More on the opening and the restrictions in place.
And later, Levi Stadium is packed with Patriots and Seahawks fans, but we did see some red and gold.
Well, I'm extremely grateful, super happy. It's gonna be cool, obviously, at Levi. Wishing the Niners were in it, but,
We'll take a look at the excitement in and out of Levi Stadium.
Now at 6 o'clock on this Sunday night, we're live at the CBS studios in San Francisco. I'm Brian Hackney.
And I'm Andrea Nakano. Public schools in San Francisco will be closed tomorrow.
No agreement between the San Francisco School District or the teachers, so they're set to walk out tomorrow.
Both sides negotiated for almost 8 hours last night, made small progress, and reached a tentative agreement on one item, the sanctuary policy. But the main sticking points, wages and health care, remain. Dahlin has the latest.
There will be no last-minute compromise. San Francisco teachers will go on strike on Monday. There is a little bit of good news. Both sides will meet on Monday to try to come to an agreement. Monday will be the first time San Francisco public school teachers and staff walk the picket lines in nearly 50 years. The last strike in 1979. That means roughly 50,000 students, like second grader Gilda and third grader Angel, will stay home.
With the strike now, I'm going to be strapped with all four of them for 24 hours a day, and that's a lot of work for me,
Lloyd Guillory is 83 years old. His young wife passed away about 2 years ago, so he's caring for 4 kids on his own, from kindergarten to 5th grade. He's worried about their education and about putting food on the table.
There's 2 more extra meals I have to prepare every day. Yeah.
Financially, what is that going to mean for you?
It's gonna be hard because I'm on a basic income. We all live off of my Social Security.
He says the kids will likely pick up the free meals the district will give out during the strike. He also says they'll probably spend some time at the nearby Boys and Girls Club in Hunters Point on Monday.
I just hope that they can settle it as quickly as possible. Because it's important that these kids are in school getting their education.
Gilda and Angel say despite the hardship, they support their teachers.
I really love school, so I'll be very sad that it wouldn't be no school.
While both the school district and the teachers union reached an agreement on the sanctuary policy, they could not agree on the major sticking points, wage increases and health care benefits.
We need to see their serious movement. We'll be on strike on Monday without an agreement.
The union president says the district updated its offer this weekend, but it was not enough to stop the strike.
What they've proposed has concessions and takebacks, which means that our students in our schools would receive cuts if we were to agree to what the district said. We have said it again and again, we will not sell out our students or our members to get a wage increase. And we know the district has the money to do that.
We need to make sure that we can afford any raises that we put forward and that any raises we put forward would be approved by the state. We are still currently under state oversight, which means that they do have the authority to approve or deny the raises that we put forward. And so we need to make sure that we are able to pay for the raises that we put forward.
While both sides continue to debate the numbers, Loy is worried about low-income families and how they'll survive a prolonged strike.
It's going to be real stressful for families like mine.
Yeah.
With the kids out of school for a long period of time.
Yeah.
The lack of education that they miss out on and the extra burden is to put on the families,
Both sides will meet at noon on Monday. The district says they are very close. The hope is they can keep this a one-day strike.
Dahlin in San Francisco, Mayor Daniel Lurie had asked the teachers to think things over another 3 days so that the kids could at least still go to school.
our students and our parents need certainty ahead of tomorrow. I know everyone participating in these negotiations is committed to schools where students thrive and our educators feel truly supported.
Nancy Pelosi is also calling for the teachers to postpone the strike, but the teachers are not budging. Joining us now, Professor John Logan. He teaches labor and employment studies at San Francisco State University. Thank you for joining us on this Sunday night. You get the sense that this thing is going to last a while?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly going down to the wire. And so, although there has been progress made in bargaining, it looks like it's not enough at the moment and that there will be a strike tomorrow. I mean, we have to keep in mind, this has been going on for 11 months of bargaining. The sides declared impasse last year. There was a process of mediation and fact-finding. And, you know, despite all of that, there's still no agreement. But, you know, the union has not called a strike in 50 years. I think it really does consider striking to be a last resort. I mean, this is not a bunch of, you know, workers that you could say are strike happy in any sense of, you know, the phrase. You know, for educators, I think, like, you know, they are driven, you know, to go to work every day to, you know, to take care of their students. And I really think that, you know, that this is the last thing that they want, but they feel that they have no choice at this point. Because
Right. Let me ask you, the district spokesperson had said that they're under state oversight and they can only spend so much money. So if they don't have the money
that
to
is
spend.
true. Yeah. But we also heard from the district that they have come up with creative ways of trying to fund the healthcare, which is one of the major sticking points. You know, San Francisco teachers with dependents pay a huge amount of money, higher than other city employees, higher than school teachers in neighboring school districts on healthcare expenses. Now, the district has said just in the last couple of days that they've come up with a creative way of spending non-restricted funds to improve the healthcare offer. But, you know, you have to question, this is after 11 months. You know, did they not think that they were, you know, able to come up with creative ways anytime, you know, in the last 11 months, rather than wait until 2 or 3 days before the strike deadline that the union has given them? So there's really, there's a school district problem and there's a state problem. So as you said, the school district problem is that the school district says, you know, we have to live within our budget and we cannot offer the teachers things that the state will override us. To an extent, that's true. But, you know, the teachers union says that the district is not transparent about its finances, that it has millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in reserves that it could use to settle this dispute.
Okay.
The larger problem is state funding of K through 12 education. Now, San Francisco is not alone in facing the prospect of a K through 12 teacher strike. We've had strike votes and threats of strikes very recently in Los Angeles, in San Diego, in Sacramento. So it's a larger problem of how does the state provide a living wage and decent benefits for K through 12 teachers.
Yeah, it's a tough one, especially when you're living in the most expensive place in the Milky Way galaxy. It is not easy. Professor John Logan of San Francisco State University. John, we really appreciate your time. Thank you. And now it's time for a look at the weather. Here's Darren Peck.
You know, Brian, we actually have radar on the map right now, and that is kind of a big deal because you got to go back to early January to find something that looked this good. This is happening right now. Live radar moving in across the northern part of it's like the northern 2/3 of the state. And if we put it into the futurecast to watch where it's going to actually rain from here, we're going to miss out on it. That's tonight's rain. We've been looking at this for the past few days, saying we might get a drop or two of rain on Sunday. It wouldn't be much if we got it. But did you see what happened there? That went through Thursday. I want to play that one more time. There is another separate system coming through. So even if we miss out on tonight's rain, watch the next one comes in on Tuesday and Wednesday, and that one is going to get us. Just a quick little view at what that might look like by the time it gets here. Just a little preview for the start of Tuesday. And then when we get back together again in the complete forecast, we're going to play the whole thing through. I'll show you rainfall totals and the next potential system after this one. But that is the day after tomorrow. It's coming fast. Widespread rain. We could see 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch. I'll see you with all that in a few minutes. Guys, back to you.
All righty, Darren, thank you. When the golden mussel was discovered at the port of Stockton a little more than a year ago, lakes and reservoirs across Northern California imposed new rules on boaters to try to keep the invasive species out. East Bay Mud, the water supplier for most of the East Bay, took no chances. They banned all of the boats from their reservoirs.
Today, after more than a year, they began inviting boats back to the water. But as John Ramos reports, they're being very careful about it.
Thanks to the golden mussel, it's been a long time since anyone was able to launch a boat here in San Pablo Reservoir. But EB Mud says that boaters are once again welcome on the lake, but with some important restrictions. The surface of San Pablo Reservoir is glassy smooth. It's been a while since any boat wakes disturbed the water. Jaime Garcia fishes from the shore and says he's gotten used to the peace and quiet.
You know, as a fisherman, I kind of like without the boats, but I also understand that people want to come on the boat, enjoy themselves, bring their family and fish. So I understand that too. And I don't think it makes a difference in the fishing. The fish are still on the water whether you have a boat or not.
But the fish may soon have some company out there again, because on this day, EB Mud was offering boat inspections to begin the process of allowing them back onto the lake.
Today's a very big day. After a year closure to protect the waters from the invasive golden mussel, we are finally opening up San Pablo Reservoir.
The reservoir is a key component of the water supply, and the mussel poses a huge clogging threat to EB Mud's pipes and infrastructure. So they waited to see how others were dealing with the problem.
Many water agencies were trying different methods. There were 15-day quarantines, there were 30-day quarantines. There were some weren't able to put quarantines in place at all, no inspections. And over the course of the year, the mussel did spread.
This map shows how the invasion spread in 2025, but the most effective action was a 30-day quarantine. After an inspection to be sure they're completely clean and dry, boats will be tethered to their trailers with sealed cables to prevent them from being launched. After the waiting period, they will be allowed back on the lake, and then, upon leaving, given another sealed tether specific to San Pablo.
And then after that, you could come kind of in and out as you please. But if you do go to another reservoir, you would need to have a 30-day inspection before returning to San Pablo. So it is kind of a decision that the boat owners need to make in terms of where they want to launch their boats for the season.
It's changed the way people play on the water. For practicality, boat owners must now pick a spot to use for the summer instead of moving from lake to lake. Or they could do what Brandon Lloyd did and choose a kayak instead. We watched today as he hauled in a 3.5-pound bass.
That is a decent sized fish.
Yeah, spotted bass. They're in here.
At San Pablo, kayaks can launch without a quarantine as long as they are first inspected and found to be clean, drained, and dry.
But this is opening day, so this is the first day that I've been back to San Pablo. But I've loved this place. It's been too bad it's been closed down for a year, but obviously you got to do what you got to do. It's the right thing to do. Honestly, the process was super smooth and everyone's very professional. So.
The golden mussel is a serious threat, and officials say most boat owners seem to understand that and accept the new restrictions. It only takes one mistake to cause an infestation, and there is no way to get rid of them once they arrive.
In other news, in the Sierra Nevada, Truckee police arrested a man who they say intentionally drove his car into children outside of a Safeway grocery store. This happened yesterday at about 2:45 in the afternoon. Members of a youth baseball team were selling beef jerky. They were trying to raise money for a trip to Cooperstown when a pickup truck barreled into them.
He ran over one of the moms and her son and then hit the 3 other boys, and 2 of the boys got pinned between the truck and the building.
Well, the victims were taken to the hospital, but you'll be happy to learn they have non-life-threatening injuries. Police arrested 49-year-old Jonathan Moorer of Coalinga. He was booked into jail on a number of charges, including assault with a deadly weapon.
Now to Oakland, the city is extending the grace period for their Sunday parking meters program to give people more time to get used to the new rules. Ticketing won't start until April 12th. For now, parking enforcement workers will leave warning notices on cars. City officials say Sunday meters will help with parking turnover, attract customers, and generate much-needed revenue for the city. We are here at the 50-yard line of our virtual Levi Stadium set. Right now, the New England Patriots are taking on the Seattle Seahawks for the Lombardi Trophy.
And out at the actual stadium, 49er fans have come to join in on the excitement. You can see there's a sea of blue and green jerseys, but we still spotted some red and gold, and asked the faithful why they came out today and who they're rooting for.
Like Tom Brady said, we have no dogs. I hope they both lose. But I'm rooting for Sam Darnold.
1,000% Patriots. 1,000%. Go Pats, baby. I know I'm a little butthurt from the Seahawks, but honestly, Drake May, Stephon Diggs, I just love them. I love it as a staff. I like the organization.
While fans are disappointed, the hometown favorite isn't playing today. They're still out supporting San Francisco and keeping the red and gold spirit alive at Levi Stadium.
Well, the official NFL Super Bowl watch party and fan zone is underway at the Henry J. Kaiser Center for the Arts in Oakland.
Yeah, there were plenty of tailgate games set up outside, as well as local vendors and live music performances. And it all led up to the broadcast of the big game. One 49er fan said even without his team playing, it's still pretty fun to watch with friends.
I'm a Niner fan. I don't care either way it goes. I'm glad that they restored it. The first has been sitting for so long, I didn't know what they're going to do with it. I'm a people person, so I like to be around people.
The free event brought in fans from across the Bay Area. The venue said that its theater's watch party hit full capacity. There is other news this weekend. Coming up, more quakes rattle part of the Bay Area today. We'll have the latest on that and why a quake swarm in this area is causing experts now to raise an eyebrow. That's coming up. And welcome back. The far North Bay was shaken up twice this morning by a pair of magnitude 3+ quakes. One was a 3.6, the other a 3.2. Not too many people felt them, and they were up by the geysers geothermal area, so no surprise. Gets shaken up all the time. But a puzzling quake swarm that began in San Ramon has continued to shiver all week, and that's raising at least a minor alarm about a major nearby fault. The hits just keep on coming in San Ramon. Did you feel the earthquake?
Yes, I did. And it woke me up. Holy cow.
No wonder. It was a 4.2 just after 7 a.m. In all, 5 magnitude 3+ quakes within 1 hour, all within a few miles of the Calaveras Fault. Roland Bergman is with UC Berkeley. Are there implications for the Calaveras Fault?
Well, that's a good question. They're quite close to the northern Calaveras Fault.
The Calaveras runs for 75 miles.
I mean, that offset in that curve, that's about as spectacular as it gets.
It's true, yeah.
From Hollister in the south to east of Concord in the north. Geophysicist Ross Stein.
It's very long, and it has a kind of AC/DC behavior. It creeps and it produces earthquakes.
It's one of the bigger faults in the Bay Area that hasn't had an earthquake in a long time.
But it is capable of producing a magnitude 7.5.
So we know this is one of the sleeping giants in the Bay.
We're now in the latest of about 7 quake swarms in the area since 1970. This latest has lasted about the longest.
They probably increase the hazard a little bit every time you have these smaller earthquakes.
As for the cause, that's complicated. It could be pressurized fluid about 6 miles down, interacting with these complicated faults. And there's one other thing. Do the present high tides have anything to do with these quakes?
It's funny you say that, because in a paper we wrote in 2018 about the 2015 swarm, we saw a hint of that being the case.
But Dr. Bergman says much more study is needed. In the meantime, this present swarm wouldn't be a surprise to see this continue to go on for a while. Wouldn't be a surprise to just see it peter out either.
That's exactly right. We don't know.
And as for folks in the East Bay, are you getting a little bit tired of these quakes?
No, but I can be more prepared.
And that's the upside of all of these earthquakes. They're reminders to be prepared.
Because that shake was really something.
She's talking about the shake that happened on Monday morning. Oh, by the way, it's official now. That swarm that began, the San Ramon swarm that began back in November, is now the longest on record since swarms in that area were first noted back in 1970. And since I did that story on Monday, they had a couple more little magnitude 3s in that area. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's been fascinating to watch that.
Yeah, it keeps getting shaken up.
Got something new tonight. There's rain. That's like live radar behind us coming into northwestern California. So that is the system that we've been watching for the last few days and saying, Sunday, we have a chance for rain. Well, there it is. I mean, this is the best the radar has looked on the virtual set since early January. It's been a long time since we've been able to do that. Here's the spoiler. This is where it's going to rain, where you can measure it. That's through tonight, and then watch the next system come in. We did this at the top of the newscast. I just wanted you to see the comparison. We're not getting rain from the system coming in now, but we are getting rain from the one that comes in Tuesday and Wednesday. That's what you're seeing on here. Details on that in 1 second. We're going to slow it down. I'm going to show you what it looks like on the Futurecast, but there's one other item to look at on here. Because when that Tuesday, Wednesday system comes in, we need to shift our focus to the other side of the state for something else we haven't seen since early January. A foot of snow on some of the higher peaks. This is the best news out of all of this. We're actually doing okay for rainfall. We're a little above average for rainfall in San Francisco this year so far. We are way below average for snow in the Sierra. It says a lot about how warm the storms have been as they've been coming in here. Let's talk about that Tuesday system. So here comes the rain for us in the middle of the day. There's the light snow starting in the Sierra first, interestingly enough. But here comes our rain, and the time on that gets us into like 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon or so. So let's stop it there. Actually, it's a little earlier now, coming in around 1 o'clock as we get into Tuesday afternoon. That will just be the start. This is going to be about a 24-hour-long system. It doesn't rain continuously for 24 hours. You'll get plenty of breaks, but the system will be here. I'm going to let it play and watch what happens. Keeps going on again, off again. Showers. Look at the center of circulation right over us. Area of low pressure comes right overhead. Takes its sweet time to finally spin out of here. It will by the time we get to Wednesday afternoon. Still snowing in the Sierra. That's why this is good for snow over there. Well, let's put the totals on this. Here's where this gets a bit impressive. We could pick up anywhere from maybe half an inch to an inch of rain on Tuesday and Wednesday. And we're talking about this starting the day after tomorrow. So this is really going to come on fast, and I think it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. We really haven't had widespread rain in a while. We're not concerned about an inch of rain in a 24 to 36 hour period. We can certainly handle that. But this will be more than we've seen since early January. So it's good news. It's great news over here. Here comes the snow in the Sierra from the first one. We'll probably pick up about 10 inches, maybe close to a foot of snow up on Echo Summit. Higher totals than that on the higher peaks of the resorts. That's great news. And it's just storm number 1. Let's clear that one out. And I'm just going to take a look at the very beginning of the next one with you, because this one has the potential to be more impressive. But the challenge is, now we're going a little too far. That is next Sunday. So we don't want to get locked into the details yet, but that has consistently looked quite impressive, not just from a rainfall standpoint for us in a good way, but from a snowmaker in the Sierra. That one could drop several feet of snow in the Sierra. I say that now only because that is where the longer range forecast models are saying it's quite possible. It's not a lock. It's not guaranteed yet. Boy, we could use it though. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll let you know as we get closer to it. There's your 7-day forecast. You can see that Tuesday, Wednesday system. More excitement and anticipation for that weekend storm as we get closer.
From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Evening Edition.
Welcome back. Investigators are still searching for Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today's Show co-host Savannah Guthrie. It's been a week since the 84-year-old disappeared. Savannah and her siblings have issued a video plea to their mother's abductor, saying they will pay for her return. CBS reporter Andres Gutierrez has the latest.
Sunday marks 1 week since 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today's Show co-host Savannah Guthrie, was first reported missing. The search for the 84-year-old began soon after she failed to show up for Sunday service last week at Tucson's St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church, and friends grew concerned. This weekend, parishioners at St. Andrew's prayed for her safe return.
We pray for Nancy's rescue. We pray for her release. We pray that she would be brought safely home.
We received your message, and we understand.
On Saturday, Savannah Guthrie and her siblings took to social media to address those responsible for taking their mother. Their video came in response to an apparent message from the captor.
We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
The FBI is assessing the authenticity of apparent ransom notes sent to multiple media outlets last week. The notes established 2 deadlines, one which has passed, the other one set for tomorrow. On Saturday, investigators returned to Nancy Guthrie's property, continuing to search for clues. They also visited the home belonging to Nancy Guthrie's daughter, Annie. This comes one day after FBI agents removed a camera from the roof of Nancy Guthrie's home and towed her car from her garage to examine it for possible fingerprints or other evidence. CBS News has also learned law enforcement is tracking down vehicles captured on surveillance cameras the night she disappeared, including at this gas station. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for information that will lead to the return of Nancy Guthrie or to the arrest of those responsible for her abduction.
Other news tonight, Olympic skier and gold medalist Lindsey Vonn crashed on a downhill run today, and that brought an end to her Olympic dreams for the year. The 41-year-old skier was already dealing with a ruptured ACL in her left knee when she lost control, spinning in the air before landing hard on the ice and breaking a leg. She was airlifted off the slope to the hospital. Teammate Breezy Johnson shared her sympathy after today's race.
Her coach said that she was cheering for me in the helicopter, so I hope for the best for her. I hope that it's not too bad, and my heart aches for her. It's such a brutal sport sometimes.
The Italian hospital where Vonn is being treated said that she had surgery to stabilize that broken left leg. Andrea?
Well, coming up, BART threatens station closures as voters consider a tax hike. Why some critics say it's just a scare tactic. We'll be right back. We're getting a look at what would be a worst-case scenario for BART as it faces a $376 million budget deficit next year. The transit agency is relying on voters to approve a regional ballot measure in November. It proposes a half-cent sales tax increase in Alameda, Contra Costa, San Mateo, and Santa Clara counties, and a full 1-cent hike for San Francisco. Now, if voters reject the tax hike, BART says it will close up to 15 stations next year. The remaining stations would shut down at 9 p.m. each night, and 1,200 workers could lose their jobs. Dahlin spoke to one former BART board member who says the agency is using fear to push the tax hike.
Critics of the tax measure call BART's report a scare tactic, while others say it's educational, letting people know how bad things could get if voters don't pay up. BART passengers say closing up to 15 stations would be devastating. Tens of thousands of people rely on BART every day, including daily rider Stephen Valadez, who takes BART from his home in Antioch to his job at a restaurant in Orinda.
Before the pandemic, there was definitely more. Sometimes you wouldn't even be able to sit. Now I never have a problem finding a seat.
BART says ridership is down more than 50% compared to pre-pandemic levels in 2019. Remote work means fewer trips into San Francisco. BART says it depended on fares to run service more than almost any other transit agency in the world.
Many BART riders are back, and that's great, but they're only taking BART a few days a week, and that has had a huge impact on our bottom line.
BART spokesperson Alicia Tro says without a voter bailout, they would close 10 stations in January 2027. Here's a map of the stations that would shut down. The system would also close earlier at 9 p.m. instead of midnight, and riders would see longer wait times. If more cuts are needed, BART would close 5 more stations in July 2027. Altogether, they would have to lay off about 1,200 workers.
And I think the most dramatic here is the blue line is just completely eliminated. And that would basically look like what BART ran from 1976 to 1994.
Stephen says the cuts would be life-altering, closing the 2 stations he relies on. He doesn't own a car.
For me, it would be horrible. I would have to pretty much find a new job because I wouldn't know how how to do that commute anymore.
BART is hoping voters will pass a regional sales tax increase in November, a 0.5% hike for Alameda, Contra Costa, San Mateo, and Santa Clara counties, and a 1% hike in San Francisco.
I am a solid no on this measure.
Former BART board director Deborah Allen blames irresponsible spending for the budget deficit, saying BART should have never expanded service hours or added more trains after COVID as ridership was declining.
It is a scare tactic. It is what I call Armageddon. I think to vote yes on this tax measure, you are voting yes on more of the same, wasteful, abusive, and even, yes, sometimes there is fraud too.
Stephen says he doesn't see much of an option for him when it comes to the tax measure.
Whatever we got to do, I mean, I'm willing to do it because I cannot risk losing my station here and losing my station at Antioch.
Transportation officials say the closures would also affect drivers because it would push more people onto the freeways.
Might have noticed it started looking a bit different out there today. That's the time lapse from the top of the Salesforce Tower. The clouds started building in. That's not Futurecast. That's actual radar. It is raining in Northern California tonight. We're not going to get a lot of this one, but we are going to from the next one, and then the one after that. The weather pattern is changing, and the storm track is figuring out how to find us again. We'll look at that. Show you Tuesday's rain coming up after the break.
And welcome back. Kids in San Francisco's Chinatown are combating graffiti with art. Today, the community unveiled a new mosaic mural on Pacific Avenue and Cordelia Street. It's called Circles of Harmony. Each piece contains symbols of daily life in Chinatown, including the skyline, public transit, and Chinese symbolism like a dragon and lotus flower. Two of the artists shared what makes the mural special.
It makes us feel like really seen, since like we're trying to do something for the community, and it's just like, oh, like all the community is seeing what we're doing, and like it's just like we're like heard.
Because we all worked on our own circle, everyone has their own like connection to their piece, and I just think that that's pretty meaningful.
Yeah.
The mural, created by a dozen high school students over the course of 5 months through the program Adopt an Alleyway.
Brian, I was saying that the forecast is going to get a lot more interesting and the storm track's going to find us again. Look at the 6 to 10 day outlook and come over here to the big green, deep bullseye that we find ourselves in. The deeper the shade of green, the higher the degree of confidence. Precipitation is going to be above average for this time period. In other words, where the 7-day forecast leaves off. The most interesting things in this forecast are like just at the end of the 7-day. But Tuesday and Wednesday is not going to be overlooked. We've got rain coming, and since it's been since early January that we've done this, let's spend a little time looking at this. A couple of ways we'll look at it. I think the first thing I've done is to show you how we're going to miss out, actually, on tonight's rain. That's not really the most impressive. It's radar there now, and when we play it forward, you can see the footprint of where tonight's rain is. But watch, here comes the Tuesday storm, just so you can see where this is going to rain. Tuesday and Wednesday. That's really cool to look at it that way because you now have a big picture vantage point of how Tuesday and Wednesday, this is going to be statewide. But what's it going to be like for your part of the Bay? Let's go and take a look at that and try and get specific. So we'll skip ahead from the time lapse, and I want to show you what happens with the leading edge of rain, which is going to come in early afternoon on Tuesday. And as it shows up, all of a sudden, it looks a lot better than any of the rain we've seen over the last, we did get some light rain over the last week and a half, 2 weeks. But we haven't had any widespread, meaningful rain since early January. Here's the start. Tuesday, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then it just goes. We're going to let this play all the way through Wednesday. On again, off again, hit and miss showers. We're right in the center of a low. There's going to be a lot of openings in here when you're not getting rained on. But there will always be a chance for a shower to come through, and it's going to go that way all the way through Wednesday. So when you add up the totals, this is pretty good. 1/2 inch to 1 inch generally across the Bay as a whole. Not concerned about flooding, but this is also not nothing. This will be enough. It'll probably impact part of the drive at time, and it's too difficult to say morning or evening commute. We got to wait to time out the individual cells of rain, but it could momentarily be that kind of rain over a short period of time, especially if there's some clogged gutters out there. Meantime, other side of the state, first good snow since early January, and this is just the first one. That's the first little layer. about a foot of snow coming to the pass. The storm coming after, that's better. So let's clear out that Wednesday, right? Tuesday and Wednesday is your rain. We then get a break. Nothing's happening here. This next system is a little bit later than it looked like it would be yesterday, and it's coming in most likely Sunday. And this is the snapshot where we're going to leave this discussion for right now, because the forecast models really kind of get overzealous and a little excited, and they make this look like a couple of days from Sunday to Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Here's the important note on this. Tonight's Sunday. That's next Sunday. This is too far in a forecast model to look at it and lock it in. But it does look promising. There's been some consistency on this in the models for the last few days, and this is why the Climate Prediction Center was putting on that high degree of confidence in their green shading that we were going to be above average for precipitation. So that's a very generalized way of saying something's coming. And we'll have more details as we get closer to it. Those are your morning lows tomorrow. We're going to have a few clouds around. It'll be cloudy tomorrow. You'll notice the weather is starting to shift, but we're done with that chance of rain for tonight. So it's just clouds Monday and Tuesday. Remember when we were doing low to mid 70s, when everybody was first getting here early in the week for Super Bowl, and they were like, you guys live like this all winter? We're going back to the upper 50s for daytime highs. That's all you get as that system comes in on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we're pretty much staying there too. All right, guys, back to you.
Alrighty, Darren, thanks much. Up next, we're hearing from those out-of-town visitors and what they think about San Francisco's comeback. That's coming up. And welcome back. Whether they got tickets or not, fans from all over the earth came to the Bay Area for the Super Bowl.
And this week was a chance for San Francisco to prove to the world it has bounced back. Kelsey Thorne heard from visitors about their impression of the city.
Thousands of Super Bowl fans have taken over San Francisco. From Pier 39 to the Ferry Building to Union Square, jersey-clad tourists seem to be everywhere.
I like it. I'm trying to get out. I can't believe I'm in downtown San Francisco. The Bay, turn up, it's what's up.
With the sun shining and temperatures in the high 60s, the weather couldn't be better, especially for all those visiting from the frigid East Coast.
Getting out of the car, and she was like, should we take our jackets? Absolutely not. We're going to enjoy this nice weather and kind of warm up, defrost a little bit.
While the beautiful weather is a stroke of luck, the city hasn't left anything else to chance. Crews have been working day and night to keep the streets spotless, and police have stepped up patrols across the city. It's something tourists told me they've noticed.
I felt safe.
Yeah,
it looks a lot cleaner than normal too, to be honest with you. So yeah, it's in past. I know obviously we've seen some not so good things. So yeah, it's a lot cleaner. It's been great experience so far.
For years, San Francisco has tried to shake that post-COVID reputation of being crime-riddled and dirty. The city has touted significant drops in crime this year and last, including car break-ins that notoriously plagued tourist hotspots in the past years. For the most part, tourists we spoke with told us they were pleasantly surprised to see just how bustling the city seems to be now.
We were told our hotel wasn't in the greatest area, but we arrived and it was super nice and there wasn't any homeless people around, so we actually feel like it's fine.
I thought about that. Actually, you hear people talk about it, but it's good to see it for yourself. One thing that we talked about a lot, homelessness. We saw a lot of that by the city, it's a city square area, I believe. Mm-hmm. So as far as the crime, it's everywhere, particularly in big cities, but we feel safe.
The city's hope is that this Super Bowl could help shed that negative narrative for good. And so far, it seems to be working.
It looks like it to me, yeah. If I had to put it off this visit, absolutely.
It's honestly been just such a good vibe out here, so we couldn't be any happier at all.
It's unanimous.
Apparently.
They all love us again. That's great. Thanks for watching. 60 Minutes is next.
And we'll see everyone back here at 11. And maybe at this time next week, we might have a storm.
Good thing the Super Bowl was this weekend and not next weekend.
Super Bowl totally lucked
point.
out.
Yeah.
All right.
No, we did get the good weather. We'll be streaming the news on CBS News Bay Area, and 60 Minutes is next.